Hello, good evening. I'm Lisa Broom with the Monday, February 16th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, sugar farmers will be paid this week. That's the assurance from Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Chris Sinclair. He says some legal issues held up the process.
All of the necessary things are in place for that. I believe the loan should be disbursed. If not last week, it probably will be disbursed today or tomorrow. There were a couple technical issues with the legal people, not with the Ministry of Finance or Ministry of Agriculture. We completed our tasks. All of the approvals and documents were done, but there were one or two legal issues with the lawyers. I believe those have now all been resolved. If I'm suitably advised, they have all been resolved, and disbursement, if it hasn't happened yet, should happen any day now. So it's taken a little while.
Mr. Sinclair says it's important for sugar to have an orderly restructuring process, since to do otherwise could have a negative impact on important non-sugar sectors. He says Barbados cannot afford that at this time.
We live in an instant coffee society. People want everything to happen now and to be done as quickly as possible. We all want that, but unfortunately, every issue doesn't lend itself to that level of expedition.
Two brothers and a young woman charged in connection with last week's death of 22-year-old Lamar Carter of Spring Farm, St. Thomas, have been remanded to Dodds Prison. This after appearing in the District D Court this morning.
The usually quiet district of Rock Hall, St. Thomas was abuzz this morning as scores of relatives of both the deceased Lamar Carter and the three people charged in relation to his death converged outside the District D Court this morning. 36-year-old Fidel Aline and 25-year-old Melissa Griffith, both of Grisette St. Michael, have been charged with Carter's murder sometime between February 9th and 10th. They were both not required to plead to the indictable offence. Fidel, who was unrepresented, and Melissa, who was represented by Angela Mitchell-Gittins, were remanded until March the 5th. Fidel's brother, 31-year-old Javed Aline of Rockley Christchurch, meantime, was charged with assisting him with the crime. In objecting to bail for Javed, prosecuting Sergeant Glenda Carter-Nichols contended that based on the nature and seriousness of the charge, Javed should not be granted bail. She also pointed out that he had two previous drug convictions and that there was a warrant out for his arrest. Javed, who was represented by attorney Sam Smith, was denied bail and was remanded until March the 5th. The trio appeared before magistrate Ian Weeks. Carter's body was discovered around 20 minutes past 1 last Tuesday morning in the backseat of a car in Mangrove, St. Thomas, after it was intercepted by police patrol. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
Thanks, Lisa. Well, police are probing the unnatural death of an elderly Trinidadian visitor. He is 80-year-old Yusuf Romatali. Police say Romatali reportedly went sea bathing at the beach at Accra in Christchurch around 5:30 yesterday. However, he reportedly got into difficulty. Lawmen say the elderly man was pulled from the sea by lifeguards on duty and then taken to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital by ambulance, where he was pronounced dead. Teachers were back in the classrooms of the Parkinson Memorial and Alma Paris schools today. This after a series of meetings at the Barbados Union of Teachers last week. The union had instructed the teachers, 28 from Parkinson and 7 from Alma Paris, to return to the classrooms today. According to BUT President Pedro Shepherd, that instruction was given on the proviso that the environment would be safe for teaching and learning. A check over at Parkinson revealed that the day ran smoothly. Principal Jeff Brooms was not in office, but Deputy Principal Maxine Mears told CBC News that the teachers who were part of the meetings at the BUT last week were all back in the classrooms, students were behaving well, and she did not receive any complaints. And the story was much the same at the Alma Paris School. Principal Valdez Francis says while classes were affected last week with the absence of the teachers, things were now back to normal at the St. Peter institution. Over the 4 days, the teachers discussed several concerns relating to safety, increasing in discipline, and other issues. Teachers at Parkinson complained about students taking knives to school and highlighted an incident where objects were being lit in classrooms, while those at Alma Paris said there was a general decline in discipline despite having a new deputy principal, along with other issues dating back to 4 years ago. Mr. Shepherd says while he is satisfied that today went well at both schools, the union still has its concerns.
Of course, the outstanding issues of the way both principals manage the plant remain very much out there for us to have resolution to, and I trust that the ministry would continue their investigations into the atmosphere at those two schools and to see how they could bring resolution to the numerous issues that the BUT would have been airing over the last 4 years in one instance and about a year or so in another.
The union had also given the Ministry of Education until tomorrow to address the issues. Mr. Shepherd says the teachers will remain on duty tomorrow while the union and other parties compile reports for the ministry on the issues under contention.
The BUT also received correspondence on Friday afternoon, and we too have some questions to answer. I have not read the full correspondence, but I know we have to state specifically what are some of the areas which would have contributed to the dispute last week and so on. That information, I believe, is due on Wednesday this week. So we would prepare that information. We're meeting this evening as an executive for our regular meeting. So we would prepare that information and send it off to the ministry.
Both principals say they will put plans in place to deal with any eventuality tomorrow. Well, the rate of HIV infection has fallen in Barbados. But despite this, Barbadians are being cautioned not to become complacent. Chief Justice Sir Marston Gibson made this comment while speaking at a balloon release. It was held on the grounds of the Supreme Court for those who passed away from HIV and AIDS or any related illness throughout the years.
There is an opportunity for those of us who are left to understand that we can safely assist and work with those who are infected with HIV/AIDS. You can't shun them, you can't avoid them. They are our brothers and our sisters, and we need to treat them with dignity and kindness. And with that, I want again to congratulate the registry for the fine work it's doing in bringing awareness to this deadly disease, and to tell Barbados that all is not lost, that there is a way of living with this disease and showing people the right way of proceeding with regard to it.
Clerical Officer of the District A Supreme Court and Coordinator Tracia Sargent says more attention must be given to educating the public about HIV and AIDS.
Persons in Barbados are still really ignorant to what as it relates to HIV and AIDS, honestly speaking. So my thing is to build awareness in staff, along with giving them a whole sort of information and also activities to make it fun, because HIV is actually downplayed. You're hearing more about so many different other non-communicable diseases, but HIV is a condition and it's a virus, that is actually plaguing our society and will be here for many, many years to come. But I would like the fight to come where we actually can have zero infections in Barbados, in the world, in the region, wherever.
The Barbados Workers Union is eagerly awaiting word from the Employment Rights Tribunal about when the case involving former National Conservation Commission workers, which it is representing, will be heard. General Secretary Tony Moore maintains that the tribunal is the suitable body through which workplace wrongs may be addressed, and feels the newly constituted body can correct some of the identified flaws.
We had meetings with the Minister of Labour last month just to update on where issues rested with the Employment Rights Tribunal, and that is after we had heard that a number of resignations were submitted. We were given the assurance that once all the names were received for the new tribunal to be reconstituted, or for the tribunal to be reconstituted, that it was hoped that meetings could commence as early as this month.
While addressing the BWU's midterm meeting, Ms. Moore also stated the union's position on moves to create a 24/7 economy.
The BWU will not stand down on discussions surrounding the 24/7 economy and allow the community and gender impact of such transition to be treated as issues of low importance or lower importance than flexibility and economic gains which might be contemplated. We cannot push ahead with a 24/7 agenda and expect that needed infrastructural developments, security, and health and safety issues that they would work out themselves.
More news after the break, but first we want to get your take on this issue. Do you believe Barbadians have become complacent about the HIV virus? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the result for you at the end of the news.
Win a cruise this year with Byco. Just spend $10 on any Byco product and claim a scratch card. You could win 2 7-day Carnival cruises, courtesy of Foster & Ince, and 2 dinner cruises from Black Pearl Party Cruises, or one of 500 1-liters of Byco ice cream and 1,000 Byco bandanas. See press for a list of participating outlets or call Byco at 430-2100.
When you need freedom to express yourself, there's nothing like the home you own. Let Scotiabank open the door for you with advice designed around your needs and payment options that match your budget. Visit us today. Scotiabank. Discover what's possible.
Hi, I'm Red Plastic Bag. Anyone who knows me knows I don't like cold. Sunshine reigns in my country. I love it.
A St. Michael family lost their home and all their possessions after a fire at Eckstein Village this afternoon. The blaze, which started just after 1, destroyed the home shared by Michael Jilks, his wife and 3 sons. No one was at home when the fire started. The house was insured, but the family is uncertain as to where they will lay their heads tonight. They lived in the house for about 25 years. 8 officers with 2 tenders were able to contain the fire to the house, which was destroyed. 2 neighboring homes received minimal damage. Station Officer Gordon Boxall, however, expressed serious concern about a lack of water in the area.
We managed to locate 1 hydrant, but that hydrant, we didn't get any water from that hydrant, so luckily we had ordered on our water tanker, and that came and solved the problem.
Barbados has launched its week of activities marking the United Nations International Decade for People of African Descent. President of the Clement Payne Movement and Chairman of the Caribbean Pan-African Network, David Commission, outlined some of the activities for the occasion. It all starts this Saturday with a free film about the Black Power Revolution in Trinidad and its impact on the other Caribbean islands at the Clement Payne Cultural Center. On Sunday, the first in a series of discussions on the International Decade and what it means for Barbadians will be held at the National Union of Public Workers Auditorium. Mr. Commission says a special invitation is being extended to university students.
It is an opportunity that we have as African people in Barbados to come together to look at the specifics of our situation in Barbados. Look at the historical imbalances that have been inflicted upon us as a result of that history. Look at some of the psychological deficiencies that have been inflicted upon us as a result of that history. Look at deficiencies in our educational system look at deficiencies in our religious system.
43 secondary school students have been given geometry sets by construction company Info Rentals. But 3 from among them, Tiffany Worrell of Combermere, Kim Rollins of Princess Margaret, and Kadeem Young of St. Leonard's Boys were extra lucky receiving tablets from the company. General Manager Michael Graham says the giveaway is only part of the Kids Are Us campaign.
The first phase was the distribution of geometry sets and the chance to win one of 3 ACES tablets. We are going to continue doing things with the Kids of Barbados. We have no direct plans as to exactly what we're going to be doing, but we're definitely going to be helping the children of Barbados wherever we can going forward for the rest of this year into next year as well. So we hope to be able to do good things to give back to Barbados, the children of Barbados, under the Kids Are Our Stars mission that we're trying to accomplish.
Mr. Graham also explained why the company chose to give away geometry sets.
Geometry sets is one of the first tools that children will use in learning about maths, which is the first phase of learning about engineering, about construction. So we tied the 2 in because it worked very well to bring the kids into the infra equipment rental concept of renting equipment and tools.
Still to come, a look at some of the major stories across the region. But first, a reminder that we want to hear from you on this question. Do you believe Barbadians have become complacent about the HIV virus? Text yes or no to short code 8111. We'll have the result for you at the end of the news.